Welcome to January 2015's Coffee with Manitou session part 3. We start this video off with Josh Tafoya demonstrating how to clean up old and temporary files.
That's handy because I was looking at that and I wonder, what's going on in our Manitou folder, that one of the things that we're going to have to look at regularly. So that's in our C program files, x86, old technologies, Manitou, and that's the old folder that I'm looking at there. So I happen to have that folder open here. This is when you send out your patches, when you send out your distributor files. These are all the files that were previously there. They get renamed to different version numbers. So this is an old version of the auto client that was distributed at one point. Now, what we're looking for in here is these are things that were updated in November of 2014. So if we ran into an issue, we might need to come back here and manually rename some of these files. So what I'm going to recommend, just from the standpoint of making sure that we have the maximum amount of usable stuff in here, but still maximizing space. We're now in the year 2015, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep everything throughout 2014 where it says the date modified here. So I'm going to scroll down through my list here. I'm actually going to keep all this stuff from 2014, but all this stuff from 2013, it's over a year old, and so therefore I can come down here all the way back down to, there's stuff on this machine from 2008. Well, that's those aren't our dates though, but 2010. So that's 1,650 items, and I can come in here and delete those, and it's going to free up some space. Okay, still keeping everything from the past year, from 2014. Now, the other thing that I happen to know just takes up space, but takes up the folder, but not a tremendous amount of space, is the watchdog logs. If you've ever had Supervisor Workstation open on your machine and you've got watchdog messages scrolling by, all this stuff actually gets logged into the Manitou folder. So this is the same folder that's got all the other Manitou files in there. There's our app server, there's our distributor, there's the FEP. So all of the files that run Manitou, but at the bottom of this file is these watchdog files. And these again are given the file name that reflects the date. So these ones say watchdog 2012-0801. So that's August 1st of 2012. 2012 we don't really need. So again, we can kind of go by the date modified here, and then get down into our watchdog files. And this is why you want to sometimes be careful. In fact, I'm going to go back to ordering it by name. If I order it by name, then I've got all the stuff from 2014. There's stuff from 2015, but then here's 2012 and 2013. That we can delete all these files. It's going to make there significantly fewer files in this folder, easier to navigate around if you need to move around. So I'm going to get all the 2013 stuff, and that's perfectly safe to delete. Now, it's up to you on whether you need to keep anything around from 2014, because it may very well be a lot of messages that say alarm progress problem over and over and over again. It may or may not be useful. I'm giving you the maximum amount, the most conservative estimate for how long it is that you need to keep that stuff around for. Because if you do the entire past year, then if something funny is happening, then we still would have access to the files. So we've got 2014 and 2015 only. There's some more 2013 stuff in there and some more 2012. So I just deleted over 900 files there, and that gets us to significantly fewer items in here now. There's still probably some cleanup that can be done. You can probably get down to the last month, because if we're going to try and troubleshoot something that happened a year ago, those watchdog files may or may not help. But I'm just, like I said, I'm giving the most conservative estimate that I could think of. The other thing that I did actually before I started the Coffee with Manitou session this morning, this is the same machine. If you guys have done a demo with Bob, this is the same machine that he uses for that. And this was full of other icons. And what I did was I just kind of cleaned it up by getting rid of some of those icons and putting them in a subfolder here, leaving only the Manitou icons on the desktop so it's less cluttered. It doesn't hurt to do that regularly as well. So keep that in mind. If it's fewer things on here, it's going to be easier to find what you're looking for whenever you're trying to find it. So all those things that you want to be able to do on a regular basis, and once a year is probably the outside amount of time that you want to do that. The holidays, yes, it's just once a year. But the backups, check in with your IT staff regularly. Make sure that those are happening. Your hard drive space, check on that regularly. Make sure everything's okay with your hard drive space. Those watchdog files, the old files from the old folder in Manitou, make sure that you've got you've got a handle on those. And if you're keeping up with them regularly, then you're going to have a much better time just keeping an eye on the system and knowing where your system is.
This concludes part 3 of the Coffee with Manitou session from January 21st, 2015. Register for next month's Coffee with Manitou session at boldgroup.com and check out any upcoming videos on our YouTube page. For more information, contact your account manager today at sales@boldgroup.com.